Hello, vinyl community. First of all, I am still listening to this. Ali Hassan Kuban from Nubia to Cairo. It'll be nice background music for us. Alright. This is a Vinyl Finds. Can you believe it? Wow. Haven't had a Vinyl Finds in a while. I've been having fantastic luck with cassettes lately. I mean, fantastic. And yeah, I mean these fantastic deals are almost falling in my lap. Not quite, but you know. Anyway, I have some vinyl to show you. How about that? All right. Well, let's get down to this. There's a decent number here. This first batch is from Goodwill. These I purchased I think a few days ago. So let's go through these. Obviously, I like international music, so here we have Joseph Marais and Miranda, South African folk songs. That should be interesting. For my classical collection, this one is just in fairly beautiful shape, so I was pretty excited about it. I've slacked off on picking up classical music lately, but I did manage to pick up a couple on this visit to Goodwill. Leonard Bernstein doing Mozart. So, and it's in beautiful shape. Yes. Oh, I don't think I showed you the back of this one. Alright, so this is, yeah. Not much there, but you know. Now this one I'm pretty excited about because it's classical music, but this record, I mean, the design looks pretty old. So, pretty excited about that. Very bold. This is Tchaikovsky. Huh, for some reason I thought it was Tchaikovsky. I assume this is someone different. We don't know for sure. But it's Violin Concerto in D major, Opus 35. Hopefully Ali Hassan Kupan is not drowning me out, but now tell me, does this look old or what? This looks very old, the design of it, so pretty excited about that. Alright. There's at least a couple people in the vinyl community that rave about Glen Campbell, so I'm keeping my eye out for him now. And here we have a limited collector's edition of Glen Campbell. Self-titled, I guess. So glad to add that to my collection there. This one I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, Oscar Peterson Trio and Orchestra with Respect to Nat, referring to Nat King Cole. So it has, trying to not to get shadows there, but it has a little booklet in there, built in. Yeah, very nice. Very excited about that one. And the last one of this visit is, and this one also looks very old, but it does say electronically enhanced for stereo. So it can't be that old. But the great hits of Hank Williams. But again, it looks old. I'm just not quite sure how. Well, actually, there's a copyright in 1972, so that's how old. So it's not as old as I thought. It's actually not as old as it looks, but anyway. Alright, so very excited about those. Alright, this next batch is from Savers. One area that I build my collection on is soundtracks, and this has got to be a good one. Music composed and conducted by John Williams. Empire of the Sun. That should be good. That should be good. Yes. This is one of those that is just a blind buy. It looked interesting, so I figured why not. Charlie McCoy, Harpin' the Blues. Now, this is a very, very, very famous name, but I'm embarrassed to say that I have no idea what kind of music he does. But this is Freddie Fender, If You Don't Love Me. So, I will find out what kind of music he plays. Believe it or not, I don't think I had any Dean Martin in my collection, so I was pleased to find this in pretty good shape. Dean Martin, My Woman, My Wife. Sometimes you just feel like it's meant to be. I loved the Steve Miller Band, and even though the sleeve is all torn up, the vinyl's in, I believe, in pretty good shape. Yeah, it's not bad. It has some fine scratches on it, but yeah, if you hear a scratching sound, it's the dog. She's making herself comfortable on the love seat, so you know how dogs are. Anyway, so let's see what this is called. Oh, Sailor. It's called Sailor. Because it's hard to read the text there, but yes, the Steve Miller Band, Sailor. This band I love. I was fortunate enough to pick up, I forget, it was the Blue album. For those of you that are familiar with this band, you'll know which one I'm talking about. I bought it fairly early on in my collecting days, and basically I hadn't seen them since out in the wild. So let me tell you, I was thrilled when I found this. Big Country, Steel Town. Absolutely thrilled. So thrilled I can't even speak. Very thrilled to add them. Alright, now the last batch. And these were from tonight. A stop at Goodwill. Okay, so obviously you know that one of the areas I build my collection on is comedy records. So, not to mention old radio records. W.C. Fields on radio with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. For those of you that don't know, Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy were a ventriloquist duo. You don't see too many ventriloquists anymore, but they are by far the most famous. Yes. And I can now confess to you that I had a very brief stint as a ventriloquist. It didn't get very far. I wasn't very good, but needless to say, I'm very thrilled to pick this up on vinyl. Yes. And I love W.C. Fields. Okay. Now, I just noticed this has stains on it. It almost looks like blood. So I might dispose of the shrink wrap on this, but I could not pass this up. First of all, it's old radio and television bloopers, so I'm afraid to touch it now. The best of bloopers, radio and television's most hilarious boners. I assume it meant something different back then, but it does say uncensored, so. But this is pretty, I don't see a copyright on it, but it looks 60s, early 70s. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've heard of these guys before. And I just noticed that it says Quincy Jones Presents, so that's a good sign. But these guys look like they are rocking out. The Brothers Johnson, look out for number 1. That looks good. I have quite a few Dan Fogelberg now. Yeah. So this is Dan Fogelberg, Windows and Walls. I really need to. I've barely started cataloging my records, and I really need to work on that because I'm definitely to the point where I'm wondering, all right, do I have that one or do I not? So there's that one. The lovely Natalie Cole, Don't Look Back. I had recently shown a photo in the Facebook vinyl community group about another album I have by the Isley Brothers or the Isley Brothers, and I loved it. There is a flaw in that one, which I was very disappointed about because the album is so good. But I found this one tonight. I mean, there's a different album. The sleeve is in rough shape. We do have the gatefold there. Yeah, and yeah. So thrilled to pick up another. I call him Isley, but my wife seemed to think that they were called the Isley Brothers. I think it's Isley. I don't know. I could be wrong. But thrilled to add another one of theirs to my collection. Let me tell you, I went a long time wanting to add Jethro Tull to my collection, and I've had to like 3 or 4 just in the last few months. So here's another one. Jethro Tull, War Child. And it's kind of funny because there were 2 copies of this. I didn't realize that at the time, but there were 2 copies of this at the Goodwill. The first one was grotesquely warped. I was like, it was one of those moments where I wonder, do they look at the stuff that they're putting out there? And so I was really disappointed that it was warped. But then I started digging in a different area. I found another copy of it, and this one's in not bad shape actually. So thrilled to add that to my collection. Oh, and the last one. Now, I believe I've mentioned that I'm trying not to use the Grail term quite so loosely. but I'm tempted to use it on this one just because I love the movie. It's a completely silly movie. Basically intended for kids, I think. It's a musical. But Paul Williams wrote the soundtrack, and I absolutely love it. And I frequently have the songs going through my head. So I was so excited to find this one. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna use the Grail term. But let me tell you, this one made me consider. And you guys are gonna laugh, but the Bugsy Malone soundtrack. Wow. Now this this was a musical starring a very young what's his name now? The guy from Joni and Chachi, and from he was young when he appeared on Happy Days, and oh man, what's his name? Okay, well, I've been racking my brain. I don't remember, but that's him right there. Maybe you recognize him. That's a very young version of him. I wanted to say Ralph Macchio, but it's not Ralph Macchio. He was from Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi. You know. That's horrible. Needless to say, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited about this. And yes. I'm not going to use the Grail term though. But boy am I tempted. I allowed for scratches on this one just because I have never seen this before in the wild, and I will probably never see it again, so yeah. I could probably find it easily on Amazon or something, but alright, well, that's it. Over the last several days, I got a good stack of vinyl there. Maybe the last couple weeks anyway. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying this. Ali Hassan Kuban. Yes. And I think it's over. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh, it's going to side 2. I forgot that was all side 1. Yeah.
مبروك مبروك ألف مبروك